Just your bad luck to have run into me.
It's Haruka. That's my name.
I just killed the top captain of the Tojo clan. There's a rumor that our money in the Toto Bank, all 10 billion yen, was stolen. Is this true?
Shut the fuck up! So you ready for me? Then step the fuck up. It's time to die.
The Yakuza franchise is a franchise I'm in love with currently. I have almost all the mainline games. I'm just missing 5 and 6 and the PS2 games. And also Judgment, but other than that, I am in love with this franchise. I played through all of the games that I've been missing out on in the last year, and aside from Kiwami 3's controversy and everything like that, I'm still a fan of these games, and I hope that one day RGG realizes that they lost a lot of goodwill and a lot of people are not returning to these, so we're going to be buying their newer stuff. Even Stranger Than Heaven, I'm not going to get that because they burnt their bridge. Yeah, so let's forget about all that stuff, about what's currently going on, and let's go back to the past with Yakuza 1 on the PlayStation 2. I did a playthrough of this game for this video, and I gotta say, it's a game. It's definitely the first game. Got a bunch of notes that written down for this, because, you know, I played this like ages ago. At the time of recording this, I already had like a bunch of other intros done. This was hard to do. I'm just gonna get straight into it, and the first thing I want to start with is the intro with the Sega logo and Receive You as the intro for this game. It is so cool. I just love it. It's so like, oh man, it's so neat to see this like in on the PlayStation 2 console for one, and just like after watching it on YouTube so much and playing it on my official hardware, it's like, wow, this is great. This is so cool. And I love the English dub. We're gonna get into the English dub soon, but the English dub for Yakuza 1 is really, it's generally one of my favorite dubs in anything. It's terrible. It's awful. But when it comes to awful things, if I can find some merit of being, or like, if I'm entertained by it, then I don't think it's bad. Like, if I'm entertained by it, I'm laughing and I'm just like, I'm constantly repeating the lines because it's just, I find it so hilarious. Or even just like, sometimes it's actually pretty good, then I don't mind. And yeah, so the intro for this game is great. I love Receive You, and like the way they like frame it as like a movie trailer or whatever, showing like these like moments in the game. It's like, it's just your luck. You've run into me, you know. I love it. It's great. I love the intro for this game, and the proper intro into the game's story with Kiryu like standing over the body of Dojima and everything. I think it's a really good hook, because you're like, how did we get to this bit? And it's not even that far. It doesn't take that long to get to that point, but it is really cool to see like this foreboding opening that's going to set off the motion for this whole franchise with the death of Dojima, Kiryu going into jail for 10 years. It's just like, I think they really done well in getting like the hooking in the player with the way they tell the story. And I have to say, people recently have been kind of trashing on Yakuza 1's story, saying it's not that great and all. And I think I'm not going to say they're stupid, it's their opinion, but I don't know. I think people are a little bit harsh to Yakuza 1's story. Sure, it's simple. Sure, there's a bit of bullshit that happens in there, but that's what these games are kind of built on. Like, even in later entries where it gets way worse in my opinion with stuff that happens in those games. We'll get onto them, but I just like, this game is nothing compared to those. Like, sure, you got all those like twists and turns of like Terada being like this weird flip-flopping kind of guy, but I don't know. I like Yakuza 1 story. I like how simple it is. I love Nishiki as a villain. I like that Jingu is kind of the guy behind most of what's happening, with like the hunt for Haruka and the 10 billion yen and everything. And I like how out of depth Kiryu feels at moments, you know. He's like, he just came out of prison, he has all this shit going on around him, he finds this little kid inside a bar where everyone's dead and everything. It's like, you know, he doesn't really know what's going on, but he's still navigating his way through, and I think that makes him such a good character. Like, there's a reason why he's pretty much the only character that gets like a special like name card at the beginning of this game where it goes boom, you know, where it's instead of the standard dun dun as the other characters would get. He gets a special one, and he's the only main character from my knowledge of like playing through all of these games that gets that. Even in Kiwami he gets it, because he is just that guy. He is that guy. And I kind of wish they would bring that like special version of the name card for, hell, even for Ichiban, when he's like the main character of his games. It would have been nice to see that return for him, because it's like, this is the person we are following. We are going to be following his or her journey through whatever wackiness we put them through. And it's, I mean, it's cool that Kiryu only gets that. It shows how special he is for this franchise, but at the same time, I also think that, I don't know, could make it return at some point. I really love the outfits that is in this franchise. Just to hop on to like something that's kind of trivial and all that, I love the outfits in this franchise. Everyone's dressed so cool in it, even if it's just like basic suits and everything. There's a special like way that they just make everyone look in Yakuza / Like a Dragon. Like this outfit here, I'm gonna post pictures of me dressed up as Kiryu. I don't have his shoes, unfortunately. I couldn't find anything that was like close to it, because leather, like snake leather, kind of is hard to buy without spending a lot. Like the blazer and trousers that I'm wearing right now, this was 120 quid together, so yeah. Yumi, oh man, I love when you reunite with Yumi at the end of the game. Her outfit is just so beautiful. Her haircut, beautiful. Like, she is a beautiful woman with not much character, but that's because RGG hates women. Now, going back to the English voice acting, I really do love this dub. It's so stupid. The script is horrible, filled to the brim with fucks, motherfuckers, every swear under the world, you know, because, you know, they're gangsters. They gotta swear, guys. Come on. We gotta hire all these like guys that have like, I don't know if they actually did hire people with backgrounds in like the gangster film or like video games or whatever. I don't know if they did that for the English dub, but I think they did a pretty okay job at hiring people for the English dub. Some people, I don't know, they're not great, but I think that they did an okay job, especially with Kiryu's voice actor. Best English Kiryu. No hate to Young Ye. I just don't think he's a good Kiryu. If he was casted as someone else, maybe that would have been fine. If you kept Daryl Carell, I think that's his name, as Kiryu, like you did with 7, I would have been fine with that. I love his Kiryu so much. Like, he's on par with his Japanese voice actor. Because I don't know, the way he like enunciates things, or the way he just says stuff really just hits right. I just love it so much. And I don't know, I just love the way he says stuff. Whenever I'm quoting Yakuza, I'm just like, yeah, this is, I would quote his lines like, are you ready? Just step the fuck up. It's time to die.
So you ready for me? Then step the fuck up. It's time to die.
You know, I love that line. Like, I think it's better than if you want to die, then step up. I think I like that, the English line, a little bit more than the Japanese one. When you confront Yuya, when you first meet him, and he's constantly going, I'm not dealing with no fucking Yakuza. And he just goes, what are you, retarded or just deaf?
Hey, what are you doing? You got some business with our bar or something?
I'm here to meet the owner, Kazuki.
Hey, shithead. What family do you work for anyway, huh? I bet you're from the Shimano family. We don't need to be taken care of by some gangsters.
What are you talking about? I'm just looking for Kazuki. I'm not Yakuza.
You think I'm a fucking idiot? Look at you, fuckhead! You couldn't be any more Yakuza if you tried. So, what the hell do you want? What do you want with Kazuki-san?
Relax. I didn't come here to fight. I just want to talk to Kazuki.
Shut the fuck up! Just because you're a Yakuza doesn't mean you can boss everyone around. Even in this city, people do just fine, without any help from the fucking Yakuza. They make an honest living. Unlike you. At least Kazuki-san has made a name for himself without any help. You fucking Yakuza! Don't fuck with Kazuki-san!
How many times I gotta tell you, I'm not Yakuza. You retarded or just deaf?
Fuck you! You're not coming in here, you fucking asshole!
Like, I just love it. I love it so much. And like, for the other performances, I think they did a decent job. Not the best job, but a decent one. I think Yumi's voice actress wasn't the greatest in the role. She's probably my least favorite in this game. But the likes of Mark Hamill and everyone else in the cast, although I would have praised Mark Hamill if he didn't say all that stuff about Palestine and being a Zionist and everything. So let's remove him from that from that praise. But I think, like, for Majima, he kind of leads in too Joker-like. I think he's still he still sounds like the Joker a little bit too much, and I'm just like, nah, I don't really like it, but I do like the way he says motherfucker.
You're too kind. Kazuma-chan, too kind. We gotta make up for this. I should kill you. Stupid! Fucking motherfucker!
Yeah, I think the English dub is great. I think it's decent, and people should stop hating on it, because I don't know. It's just preference. I don't mind shitty voice acting as long as it makes me laugh, and some of the deliveries is actually okay, then I don't mind it. Some people have less of a tolerance, And I can understand that. You want people to actually give emotion and everything. Like, I will say, Daryl, as Kiryu, doesn't really do emotional scenes well in this game. And it's kind of a detriment, especially towards the end of the game.
Aniki, this is for you.
Shinji. Shinji. Shinji? Shinji!
I am going to finish what I started.
No! Stop! Don't do it! Nishiki! Nishiki!
Now, going on to visuals, I really love the way this game looks. This game, oh, it's so good. Peak PlayStation 2. I mean, PlayStation 2 in general. The visuals for a lot of games are beautiful. When they're not, you know, smearing it with fucking trails everywhere, like in the GTAs and everything. But with Yakuza, I really love how the streets of Kamurocho look. And the interiors as well. I really love how they're lit up in that, because it really does bring out the grunge into that world. I think that's what kind of is lost as you progress through the series. You don't really have the grunge of Kamurocho or like Sotembori anymore. I mean, Sotembori is meant to be a little bit more cleaner, but compared to Kamurocho, where it's meant to be the seedy underbelly, the underground world, you know, the red light district and everything. But when it comes to atmosphere with the later games, it just doesn't hit the same as this PS2 game. And I just love it. And I'm glad to have upgraded from a different upscaler to a RetroTink to really enhance how this looks. Of course, it's better if you would be playing it on like a CRT or whatever, not like HD setting, because I've seen the HD footage from Yakuza 1 and 2, the remasters that they released in, I think, only in Japan. And honestly, IGG, if you want goodwill again, re-release Yakuza 1 and 2 HD, please. That would make me happy, and I think a lot of other people happy if you re-release those instead of just shoving Kiwami down in our throats, okay? But yeah, I think the HD look does look nice, but it doesn't really have the same feel as the PS2 game. And I think that a lot of it, the atmosphere is kind of lost when you have gotten rid of a lot of the like the PS2, I don't even know what to describe it, like visual effects, I guess. Like with the trails and like a lot of the lighting stuff that happens inside the console or whatever. It's hard because I don't really know too much about PS2 development and on how the system works, but the way the games look on the console itself really does look nice. I really do like how they look, and I just think that it's lost as you progress through the series. You don't really get that grunginess anymore. You just have a more, I don't know, this isn't really a feeling I get anymore, especially with the Kiwami. Originally I was going to compare the PS2 game to a Kiwami playthrough. I didn't want this video to take too long for one, and also I did load up Kiwami to get some of the cutscenes to compare them. Yeah, Kiwami really does fucking lose the identity of this of its first title, because especially when we get to Yakuza 2 and Kiwami 2, fuck me. But the look that Kiwami has, like, it's trying to replicate it, kind of, but because it's built off of Yakuza 0, is like still using a lot of its like elements from Yakuza 5 and Ishin into 0, and then it's like kind of cobbled together into this final old engine release, I guess. Well, did they even have an engine name for like the games that came out around that time? I've only known it as the old engine. I don't know if it has an actual name. But like pre-Dragon Engine games, I think look nice, but they don't really have the same feel, and especially with Kiwami 1, where it doesn't do the same like lighting and the facial animations. I really do not like the facial animations that they gave Kiryu in this title. Like, it's a lot more animated than I remember, but it doesn't feel as expressive as the PS2 game, and he's just constantly scowling. I don't like that. Like, Kiryu is not meant to be constantly having his eyebrows like this, you know. I'm angry, or I need to investigate this. Like, no, man. Have some emotion. Move your eyebrows. Go like, ooh. I'm not even moving it properly, but still. Like, I want Kiryu to like actually have some emotion in the way he looks, and like actually move his face. And yeah, and that's why I love PS2 Kiryu. I love the way PS2 Kiryu looks. I'm very happy with the way I'm dressed right now, because the colors in this kind of resembles how he looks in renders and everything. And I think the PS2 renders are some of the coolest. I love the way he looks in that. I love the way everybody looks in the PS2 renders. They just look great. And it just adds to the charm of this game and how I just feel about it in general. Like, old Yakuza, especially PS2 Yakuza, and like pre-PS3 Yakuza, just looks really nice. I really love the way these games look. Now going on to gameplay, I think that PS2 Yakuza, bear in mind, this was my very first playthrough without like messing around with the combat like I did in the past in like streams and everything. PS2 combat is not bad. Starting off, you may think it's shite. I don't really like how it feels when you start off, and I don't enjoy how slow leveling up is. You will get to max level in a lot of your like your body, tech, and soul. You will get to max level by the end of the game. You'll at least have one missing, unless you're actually actively doing the sub stories, which I didn't do for this playthrough, because I will get onto that later. I don't like sub stories in this game. I think up until 3, I don't like sub stories. We'll get to that. But yeah, for this first outing, the combat starts off slow, not that great. There's not too much to do. But once you get the upgrades, you start doing the Komeki training when you get reversals and everything, because you don't have reversals at the start. And when you upgrade, they're not even there in the tree. You have to get them through Komeki training. And when I reached that, I did not like that. Because reversals are such an important part into the series' combat, especially when you get to the later games. You're like, okay, surrounded by enemies, you gotta go, woo, you know, and everything, and doing the heat moves, tiger drop, Komeki parry, the block, and everything. It is essential to you. If you're gonna play this game, please be diligent in doing your Komeki training, because it really elevates this combat a lot. It makes it faster, makes it more fun, and you will have a better appreciation on how it upgrades throughout the series. Because I started off with Kiwami back in 2018 when it dropped onto PlayStation Plus in December, and I remember liking the combat in that, and going back to it for some footage for this video. Well, I did not like it. Especially playing with the Dragon style, because I love the Dragon style, the Legend style, whatever name you want to call it. I love it. It's my favorite way to play as Kiryu. Sure, Brawler, Rush, and everything, it's like, no, that's cool and everything. It's good for like speed runs when you want to like just stun the enemy over and over. You're like, ba-bang, 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 you know, like into a corner and everything. But when it comes to just the dragon / legend style, I don't know, there's just like a charm in the animations, especially in the PS2 games. I think that there's a level of charm where you're doing like the finishing hold, one of my favorite moves, or is my favorite move in all of the games. Finishing hold just has so many fun animations, especially how like bouncy, no, is that the right way to describe it? Like just how animated Kiryu is for doing them. Like he will like be like this, like he will, oh, I'm gonna show footage anyways, but he will like break someone's back and then throw them down, especially with like grab animations where he's like doing the headbutt when you initially start the game. You're like bang bang, and then he full on goes back and goes like with like he full on like reels back and then smashes his head against the person. I just love it. I love how animated Kiryu is during these like moments in the game where you're fighting against these enemies, and he's just so fun. Like I feel like it's again lost in the later games where they're trying to be a little bit more realistic with the movements and everything, which that's all fine and everything, but I don't know. I kind of missed how bouncy Kiryu was in these PS2 games, and I think it kind of starts losing it towards, I want to say 4, kind of starts losing that bounciness. But again, another conversation for another day when I get to Yakuza 4. But yeah. When you are exploring Kamurocho and not inside like rooms, or when you have like free camera, I think exploring Kamurocho is really fun because I've explored this city so many fucking times in all of these games. I've explored this city so many times. I knew where to go like the back of my hand. But when you are traveling within this PS2 game, especially if you've never played a Yakuza game before, you'll feel lost. You're going to be lost looking for these places because the map doesn't really show too much. Like you can see the names of roads when you're like zoomed in on it, but everything else you're like, well, especially when there was this one point where you're told to go somewhere and you will just have no idea where it is because there's no map marker. And you're just meant to roam around, see what you can find. And I think that's a really good opportunity to explore Kamurocho, because I feel like Kamurocho is a very lively place to explore when you're not going into fights and everything, especially in these PS2 games with like the fixed camera angles and everything. It's a really nice place to explore. You'll find like all these like places, like alleyways and everything, with possible like key lockers to pick up and everything and stuff, and maybe even sub-stories, which again, we'll get into those later. I don't like them, we'll get into that. But yeah, exploring Kamurocho is really nice, and with the fixed camera angles, I think really enhances the atmosphere as well, because you'll just be standing there, you will hear the looping like conversations of the citizens around you, and I think it really just has a nice atmosphere with like the color scheme and just the different times of day you are exploring it. I really think it does look nice, and the fixed cameras really enhance that atmosphere. Now when you're inside buildings and everything, depends, because sometimes the camera can be complete fucking ass. I think the buildings are a little too close together, or like too small, I should say. They're a little too small for the amount of enemies you are fighting, and or like just where you are. And the camera can just be like, oh, I don't know where I'm going because I'm fucking stuck in between them. Because for some reason they didn't make it so some areas don't have like walls that the camera could just go through. It's like, it's still like stuck with behind you or something. And you would have to go to like an open doorway, and then you can rotate the camera that way, or well, you're just kind of fucked in it. And I don't really like the camera inside open zones, especially when you're in a boss fight. Because if you're fighting someone like Majima, where he's constantly doing like dashes and everything, it's not great. It really isn't great. Like, you'll lose him. He's going to do some attack off screen and will possibly stun you or get you to get knocked down and everything. It's not cool. It's not fun. No, they should have stuck with more fixed camera, like areas for those inside bits, kind of like in like Devil May Cry or whatever, or Resident Evil also, because I mean, it would have just worked that way. Just have it on a fixed camera, because this game is a beat 'em up. Just have it positioned like it is in, like, I don't know, Streets of Rage or some shit. I feel like that would be very beneficial to the game's like controls and the way it plays. Moving on to, well, sub-stories. There's only a few missing sub-stories in this game. I say missable. There are only a few missable sub-stories, and I don't like that. Like, all the other sub-stories you can do in the premium adventure or during your first playthrough, and there are guides out there for you to play through them sequentially, and you'll be like, okay, cool, I got them all done, and I can fight Joe Amon. I didn't do that because I missed a sub-story involving Haruka and like a casino thing, and it's just, I don't like that, and I think that persists until I think Yakuza 3, where it's missable. Like, they will cut off like the missable cutscenes. From what I remember from when I was looking at a guide during my first playthrough last year, I just was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not gonna do it. And also, there's no, I mean, there are sub-story markers, I'm pretty sure, inside the game, but like, to initiate them also, it's just kind of like, you just need to bump into somebody and they'll be like, oh, sorry, and then they'll run off, and then Kiryu will be like, that jackass took my wallet. I don't like that. I really don't like how, I mean, I think it does like add to the charm of this game, because it's like, oh, these things could just happen when you're just walking around. You'll say you're like near the Millennium Tower, and then, oh, what's this? Someone's talking to you. You're like, oh, hi. And then they're like, oh, I need help. This person's like stalking me or whatever. It's like, yeah, that's kind of cool. You'll just stumble upon it. As if you're in real life, people will just run up to you, be like, hey man, can I have $5 for food? And they're like, no, fuck off. And like, I do get that. But at the same time, when you have ones that are like very important to future events in this fucking franchise, well, I don't think they're good. I don't think they're good at all, because one of them involves a character that you meet in Yakuza 2, the mother of Daigo, the wife of Dojima, the Sohei Dojima. You'll meet Yayoi after a moment in chapter, I think 8 or 7. But you'll only know that if you get a call. And if you ignore everything about that, if you don't go to the florist, talk about it, talk to him and saying you got a letter and everything, and you just go past like where you're meant to meet Yayoi and everything, yeah, that sub-story is just gone. You don't even get to do it in Premium Adventure. And bear in mind, she is an essential character in the next fucking game. And I'm pretty sure it's the same thing with Dr. Imatoi. If you don't meet him after like giving the boy like food and he gets food poisoning, guess what? If that boy dies in your hands, you can't meet that guy. You can't meet Dr. Imatoi. And you, like, say you started Yakuza 2 and you're in his like office and everything after Kazuki gets shot or whatever, or is like sick. I can't remember. I'm gonna replay. I'm not gonna replay. I'm gonna play Yakuza 2 after this video. But yeah, when you go down there, you meet the doctor. You're like, who the fuck is this guy? How does kid you know him? Oh wait, if I played Yakuza 1 and didn't miss all the sub stories, I would have met him. It's dumb. It's really dumb. And I think missable sub stories are just such a stupid way to like have this. Like, sure, it incentivizes people to go after them on like a second playthrough, adds playtime and everything, makes the game replayable. No. I think they're stupid, dumb, and shouldn't exist. And I'm glad that they don't have them in these in the later games, because I don't want to be missing shit, especially if it has crucial characters that you meet in the next game. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
It's been a long time. Yumi and Haruka.
So you're Jingu.
Hello.
Jingu's boss fight, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Until I played it in Kiwami, where I went to compare the two. That shit sucks in Kiwami. I'm surprised that the PS2 game is better, because, listen, it's their first outing. I'm surprised that the PS2 game has a much better final boss fight against like these MBI agents in Kiwami. They're renamed to MIB, which, I mean, that's whatever. I bet in Yakuza Kiwami, they're gonna be named Daijoji. But yeah, the final boss fight, well, the pre-final boss fight, it's not as bad as I thought. It wasn't awful. Like the agents who are with Jingu still revive at the end if you leave them long enough, or if you beat them and then Jingu is beaten. I'm pretty sure they still revive, unless they don't. But yeah, like, it's not as awful. It's not bad, but compared to Kiwami, it is literally a fucking easy mode. And then when you get to the actual final boss with Nishiki, oh. Before we talk about that, let's talk about the boss fights in this game. I think they're not bad. I think they're definitely... There's not many roadblocks that you reach, aside from guys with guns. There's not that many roadblocks that you are gonna hit with this game. There's not too much of a difficulty spike. Although when I did replay this game, because I had to buy new controllers, because my PS2 controller, for some reason the wire just like fucked up and just doesn't work anymore. So I had to buy new controllers. Replaying like the final bit, I don't know why, but it just hit some random difficulty spike. But like, it wasn't awful, but it was just like weird how difficult it got. Like when I plugged in these new controllers, I was like, what the fuck? I played the Spine when I first played it, so why am I struggling now? But yeah, the boss fights in this game, they're not awful. I think the one that people will remember the most is obviously Majima, when you fight him, like the 2 times you do fight him. And his second fight is more annoying than his first one, I have to say, because the way he just keeps on dodging and like goes into the dark, and it's just like, the way he fights in these games are just it's not fun. Unless you get to the later games where he's actually a bit more aggressive with like attacking you and everything, instead of like constantly like dodging and be like, whoa, look at me, I'm dodging with my knife. Ooh, I'm gonna now do like a slow like knife attack and then immediately dodge after. I think it's just a little bit dumb. I don't really like fighting Majima in this game. And then with like Shimano, that wasn't bad. Second fight though, the second fight don't like it because you have so many of these guys chasing you. Like, I was just trying to focus up on Shimano, and well, it's just like, oh, gross. I don't like having all these guys chasing me. I just want to fight the big bald man with the tiger tattoo and everything. It's not great. I think the boss fights, again, decent, but not that great, because they're like memorable for what set pieces they're in. But in that, like, in gameplay execution, they're just not awesome. They're good, but not awesome. And hopefully Yakuza 2 improves that. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a conniption. Going back to the tattoos, when I mentioned Shimano's, I kind of miss how the tattoos would have like a big meaning in these games. Because like when you go to Itabori's shop to confirm if the flower tattoo that he tatted on Mizuki and talks about it, I kind of missed when he would like give that explanation of like Kiryu and Nishiki's tattoo, and like having more, like, it really adds to the character of these characters that we already know and love. But I feel like as time has gone, and I feel, and it's mentioned along in the later games, I think in Yakuza 6, that the old ways, the old values of the, like, having these tattoos on your backs and everything are just kind of lost now. It doesn't really mean anything anymore because people have moved on. This is the new world and everything, and the Yakuza is not as prevalent anymore. So there's no point in having these like these inks on our backs, because they don't really have meaning, at least to those who said so. I don't know. I do kind of miss. I'm someone who, much like Kiryu and everything, not Kiryu, but like kind of like the other antagonists in the games, I kind of miss the old ways. I kind of miss the old ways of how the Yakuza used to run about with all the tattoos and like having fights and everything, you know, because it adds to the drama, it adds to the I guess the coolness factor of of like these characters and everything. And whilst you still have, like, obviously you still have meanings of like what these tattoos represent and everything, but I don't know, there's just, I feel like nowadays they don't really have much meaning towards the idea of the plot of these games and the journeys these characters go through. Like, all of the designs are so good, they're so beautifully done, and Hirotomo really has done outstanding work with these, like, the designs of these tattoos. Like, I even got Ichiban's one on my arm. I can't show it obviously here because I'm wearing this outfit, but I'll show like a picture of it. I got Ichiban's one on my arm because of how much I love it. I kind of wish I got it on my back, but after looking at the thumbnail and everything, with Kiryu's tattoo on my back, maybe if I get a few thousand quid, then maybe I'll get that. once I felt like I've earned it, because I feel like right now I'm not as wise or as I guess cool as Kiryu for me to get it, but one day I'll maybe show it off if I get a couple fucking like 1,000 quid working, I don't know, in porn or something. That's not gonna happen. I don't think I talked about the final boss yet. I think I alluded to it and I just didn't talk about it. So, Nishiki. I really like Nishiki's character in this game, and I think Yakuza 0 does help enhance it. But the added scenes in Kiwami, I did like it because it gave a little bit more reason as to why Nishiki betrays Kiryu after all those years and everything. It does give a little bit more substance to his character, but at the same time, on retrospect, it's like, it's a little bit too much because it kind of represents Nishiki as this really pathetic and sobby little bitch that you just, I don't know, you don't even, like, you can feel bad, you'll feel bad for him, that's for sure, but it just doesn't really have that effect. It doesn't really have that effect that they expect it will. Like, once you really think about it, especially after like playing Yakuza 0 and everything, you're like, it really build well. I think they kind of wrote themselves into a corner, especially if they ever want to do something with Nishiki in the future, because with the direction of this series is going currently, they probably will. But if they ever were to do something with Nishiki in the future, it's gonna be like hard to try and like transform him back to like a Yakuza 0 kind of Nishiki, right? It's because that's what they want to go with. They don't want to go with the old Nishiki, where, you know, it's like, you can clearly tell he was jealous at the start of the game. They're jealous of Kiryu and the way he's going to have his own family and everything. And then, as you progress through the game, you can still, like, you can tell that he feels a little bit more remorse for what he's doing, but because he's gone so far into trying to get to the top, you know, much like the koi on his back, that he wants to get to the top by any means necessary. And obviously he regrets doing that and everything, so he blows himself up well, along with the 10 billion yen. And I just think that I like the simplicity of PS2 Yakuza Nishiki. I kind of like the simplicity, and if you play 0 and then then it's like, I think that's good enough, I guess. You don't really need the added scenes from Kiwami. But we got a final boss fight with him, so cue the best fucking track in the game, baby.
Clock back 10 years, even if I wanted to. I can't run away from my fate. That's why we need to end this.
All right then, the final showdown to settle this shit for good. Bring that shit, Kazuma!
I love For Whose Sake is one of my favorite tracks, if not my definitive favorite track in all of Yakuza. Even though I've been loving Receive and Believe You from Infinite Wealth, man, For Whose Sake just can't be beat. And I love most of the remixes, but the original PS2 version of For Whose Sake just cannot be beat. The way it just, I don't know, it's just something. It's so good. It's so fucking like, I just lack the words to describe it. I feel like my enthusiasm and the way I'm like trying to like find words to really describe how much I fucking love For Whose Sake is, I think, evident enough on how good this track is to me, at least. Because I don't know, it feels like a really good way to end like a video game, right? It feels like a super good way to end a video game. And I think that the remixes of like For Buddy and the Ishin version, I think it's For Your Sake, I think that one's called, are like really good remixes of it. They're very good, fitting for the times that they're set in as well. But the Kiwami version of For Whose Sake, there's just something missing about it. I like how grandiose and like how much of a finale it does make it feel, because you're at the finale, you're at the final boss and everything. But just doesn't sound as good. I think it's because I'm more of a fan of more higher beat type of music, or like more rock filled music. Then I do love my orchestral tracks, but I think it should have stayed that way as a more rock kind of song instead of this like grandiose finale to like this game. I don't know. I like the Kiwami version, but it just doesn't really hit the same as the original PlayStation 2 version. That's what I heard. I think it is what I heard first before I played Kiwami, and then I played Kiwami, got to the end in like 2022, because it took me years to fucking finish these games. I started Kiwami in 2018, and then I finished it in 2022, and I think I started Zero like before I finished Kiwami, and then I didn't finish that until I'm pretty sure last year. Again, Zero was also a PlayStation Plus title. I can't remember when, but yeah, I was really bad at completing games, but not anymore. Not anymore. I managed to complete all the games within a year, so I don't know. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good now. But yeah, I really love the final boss fight. It's really good. One of my favorite final bosses in almost any video game, because I just like how, especially in the PlayStation 2 version, how it looks. And in Kiwami, I really do like the cinematic like punches where it shows the flashbacks and everything, showing like Zero and everything. But yeah, I really like how the PS2 version looks and how it plays, the music and everything. I really like how it feels compared to Kiwami, at least. I think that's most of what I have to say for Yakuza 1. I think it's a pretty decent starting point. If you want to get into the series, right? If you want to get into the series, then you should start with Yakuza 1. Not Kiwami 1. I mean, you can play Kiwami if you want. That's what I started with. I still like the series now. But if you want a better appreciation to where the series actually started, not with the remakes or whatever. If you want a better appreciation where it really started, how it evolved, play the first game on the PS2. It's very easy to emulate. You just gotta do a couple clicks, don't be a lazy git. And yeah, just enjoy yourself. Play that, play Yakuza 2, play free through the remaster, buy it through GOG, or pirate it, because they're removing it. At least standalone, they're removing it. I'm lucky to have bought it digitally on PlayStation. I also have both the Yakuza Remaster and the Yakuza 3 on PlayStation consoles. So if you can find a copy of those, then buy those, because delisting Remastered is one of the stupidest things that IGG and Sega, it's not just IGG, this is also a Sega thing as well, where they've just been delisting all these games because a new version is coming out, or we just want to delist it. In the case of like the Dreamcast games on Steam, they just delisted all of those without any fucking like any plans for those games, aside from Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio having newer games coming out whenever they come out. If not, they're probably cancelled. But enough of that. You should go play Yakuza 1. Really, really good game. Really fun, especially towards the end of the game where the combat starts to pick up, becomes faster and everything. I think it's great. You should play it. So join me next time when we play Yakuza 2. Well, talk about Yakuza 2. And yeah, I heard Yakuza 2 on PlayStation 2 is probably some of people's favorites, and probably is the best game in the franchise. I'll have to see for myself, but I do like Ryuji, because I played through Kiwami too. I do like Ryuji, and I think the game is going to be a lot better because it doesn't have the Dragon Engine dogshit style. So yeah, so if you want to see that, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll make that video as soon as I can. I will have to play through all of Yakuza 2 first, so give me like 3 days. But yeah, whether it's a day, night, or afternoon, I'll see you guys next time. Don't go too crazy. Stay safe out there. Bye! Hey! Welcome to the end of the video. This video took way too fucking long to make. I don't know why it did. It's mainly because I brought a bunch of whole new stuff. Obviously, as you can see, I brought like a green screen. I had to buy like little like key lights. They're very little. Like, I thought they would be like bigger or taller. They literally are just like, they're about like the length of my leg. So yeah, they're not that great. So yeah, I should have set it into like a cooler temperature, because yeah. I'm just so fucking tired. I want to get this video out. I'm done with Yakuza 1. I want to move on to Yakuza 2, and I want to go back to streaming stuff. Silver Case is cancelled because I feel like that's a game I just need to experience by myself, and also like someone else does. There's other people who do visual novels like a whole lot better, so don't go watch other people. I already deleted that live stream. So yeah, I will be returning to live streaming, maybe with Resident Evil 9. I'm debating whether getting that day one, because I'm just not that excited for the game, and the eventual Resident Evil video will probably talk about why, I'll probably ramble about that, just why Resident Evil now just isn't really hitting the same. And I think it's gonna be a nice playthrough, a nice replay through of Resident Evil 1 for GameCube / the HD remaster. I think it's gonna be a nice replay through because I really do like the tone and the atmosphere of Resident Evil 1 a lot compared to every other game. Like, Resident Evil 4 is my favorite, the OG is my favorite, but like, there's something about Resident Evil 1's atmosphere and the way it looks and just the tone. I think it's the perfect Resident Evil kind of horror, and just I kind of wish they would like bring that back. So yeah, we're gonna definitely talk about that at some point, maybe after Yakuza 2 or 3. I don't fucking know. I don't set plans in place. I just go whatever the fucking I feel like. So expect it at some point. Expect a Resident Evil video. Expect Yakuza 2 soon enough, sometime in March. Can't guarantee it. And yeah, so we're gonna be returning with live streams. I'm not sure if it's Resident Evil 9. It could be anything else. It could be something else. Whatever I feel like. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. We'll just expect videos on Yakuza 2, Resident Evil 3, and I hope my PS3 behaves when I do record for Yakuza 3, because I don't want to do like, I don't want to open it up just to do like fucking soldering iron shit. I don't even have a soldering iron. Like, I don't want to have to deal with that, so I hope it behaves when I play Yakuza 3. But yeah, anyways, as I said before, whether it's a day, night, or afternoon, stay safe out there. Don't go too crazy. And yeah, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.